Welcome back to my Tibia diary. After obtaining some basic starter gear and hitting level 45 in my last entry, I have since progressed a bit further. I have met the traveling trader called Rashid, who kept me busy the last couple of days as part of his questline. On the first day, he only requested a deer trophy, which I luckily already had. Apart from dealing with Rashid every day, I have met Ratsan, the goblin merchant. Every day he is in need of help with some smaller tasks in the swamp east of Venore. Norman the foreman is luckily also requiring quite a bit of help with his work in the same swamp area, so I am trying to help both Ratsan and the workers every day in order to make some money and experience. It's not the most exciting work, but together with the rotting woods tasks, it helps fund my supplies each day, as I'm still struggling with money. I have also traveled to Yalahar for Warden of Idran. He requested that a member of the Explorer Society bring him research notes from the unknown city. I met up with Captain Max in Liberty Bay, and we traveled to the city island. Yalahar does have its own ship captain, Kareth, who I befriended by bringing him a few specialties from other cities. While gathering those, I unfortunately shipwrecked on my way from Liberty Bay to Ties. The Captain Jack Fate was able to repair the boat after I helped him gather enough wood from the island trolls. A passage on the island was blocked off by a powerful energy spell. I did find a spell book and a corpse nearby. After bringing Kareth some specialties, he is now willing to take me to other cities in Tibia. I explored the city a bit and met Palamuth, who gave me the mission to do some basic repairs in the sewer. After that, he asked me to gather the reports of the 7 guards in between the quarters surrounding Yalahar. I did as I was asked and got to visit all the quarters. Some of them are in rough shape. Upon my return, I was allowed to meet the Yalahari Azarus, who asked me to enter the alchemist quarter to bring him the research notes and kill the plague carriers. I did talk to Palamuth, who warned me about the notes and requested I burn them should I find them. I do not yet know who I will support, and instead decided to visit the foreigner quarter and hunt elves there for my daily task. I then returned to Liberty Bay and visited Eleanor. I helped her find a ring, and she explained that her lover, Captain Ray Stryker, is missing. Captain Wave Rider brought me to the Meriana Isle, where I found out that Raymond Stryker was cursed by a love spell from the mermaid located on the island. I met a djinn called Osilis, who I matched up with the mermaid, so she let go of her hold over Raymond. On the same island, I met a shaman called Chandar, who I told about the energy wall on the island I shipwrecked on earlier. After bringing him some ritual items, he put a counterspell on me, which allows me to walk through the energetic wall. I returned to the island called Goroma and tested the counterspell. I could walk through the wall and hunted some pirate skeletons there as part of my weekly hunting task. I then traveled back to Yalahar and did the gladiator task in the arena quarter, after which I traveled to north of Venore to do the hunter task. I then brought the bag of apple slices I looted in the mammoth shearing factory to the incredibly old witch south of Ties and managed to tame a donkey with the apple slices. On another day, Rashid asked me to bring him some special cheese from Darashia. The cheese would go bad when traveling with a ship, so I had to walk through the desert and the jungle. On my way, I obtained 2 more tusks. By chance, I obtained the elephant daily hunting task, so I decided to visit Grizzly Adams once more and accepted the mammoth task again. I looted 3 more tusks from the elephants in the mammoth shearing factory, and this time, Blood Tusk, the mammoth boss, ended up dropping 4 additional tusks. As I now had more tusks than I require in the future, I was allowed to sell 2 of them on the market for some gold. I tried making some more money by doing the Swamp Troll daily task, and then went to the Alchemist Quarter in Yalahar, as I heard that the mutated humans have quite a lot of gold with them, but I was still quite broke. I went to the desert to complete my larva weekly task, after which I traveled to Dorian to join the Thieves Guild. I gave him the 10 tusks I collected over the last few days. I did all kinds of smaller missions for him. Finally, he requested that I leave a note deep inside the dark cathedral south-west of Venore. The place was not what I expected, as there were a lot of witches, assassins, and dark monks on my way, but I managed. Dorian rewarded me well and offered me the assassin dagger, which is quite a useful weapon to have. I then moved to Edron and hunted some orcs west of the city for my orc shaman daily task. Instead of doing my next hunt right away, I decided to hunt chickens for their feathers, which I will need in the near future for the citizen addon. It took some time, but I did get all 100 feathers required. As I was still quite broke, I decided to work on the Djinn faction. I joined their ranks and did some smaller missions before being sent to the Orc Fortress to get a lamp from the Orc King. Since I already had a mission from the Explorer Society to visit the Orc Fortress, I decided to head there. I obtained the orc powder from the mountain in the fortress, and then headed downstairs. I brought a few poison bombs which helped me clear the area. I obtained a knight armor, a fire sword, and a knight axe from the chests behind the Orc King. The Orc King did end up giving me the lamp after sending his guards after me. Since I did not feel strong enough to take on the Blue Djinn Tower yet, I had to progress the Explorer Society a bit further. I obtained a wrinkled parchment in the Dark Pyramid north of Darashia, and also traveled to Chor, the lizard city in the jungle, where I got a funeral urn. I returned everything to the Explorer Society and advanced to the rank of Relic Hunter. I accepted my next 3 missions and completed the first one in the Ape City Benuda, as it was quite close. I went to Bernice in Liberty Bay, who sent me to an expedition in Kalasa. Captain Max brought me there. I rented a helmet of the depth and dove into the water. I killed a few quaras, which are quite strong for my level, and obtained a goldfish for Rashid. I was also lucky to find a giant shimmering pearl, which is worth 3,000 gold. To upgrade my gear a bit more, I headed north of Venore to visit the Black Knight in his villa. Tyke Anderson and Tidawon were hunting the Black Knight in his spawn, but they were kind enough to let me kill him once. The quest did give me a crown, armor, and shield, which were significant upgrades. As it's nearing Christmas in Tibia, the Grinch clan goblins are raiding some cities. I did help clear out some of the raids, such as in Svargrand, and obtained some of their present bags, which I returned to Rupert in Vega. He sold me the Gringerman recipe, and I baked a few of them for the Hot Cuisine quest next year. One day, after doing my Venore daily tasks, I happened to get the Coryms Charlatan daily task, which I did. I also read about Bibby Bloodbath setting up camp west of Venore, so I visited it and killed her, without much luck regarding her drops though. As I was absolutely broke, I decided to start working on my Minotaur task and loot bag their item drops in Darashia. It's a bit tedious, but helped me collect enough money for some more supplies. I also ended up getting the Dwarf and Lizard Sentinel daily task, which I did in the mines and in Chore. There I also looted an obsidian lance, which was great, as now I'm only missing the dragon shield for my obsidian knife. Finally, I did end up doing a small elf hunt in Yalahar before testing the Minotaur spawn in the Foreigner Quarter. I made 2 larger hunts there and loot-bagged everything. I finally had enough gold to visit the Queen in Carlin for my promotion to an elite knight. I also had some money left over to buy the Berserk and recovery spell. On the next day, I did the Amazon task near Carlin before I headed to the Meriana Islands to hunt blood crabs and thronback tortoises for their daily tasks. In theory, this offers a ton of gold, but as I'm not allowed to sell any products I have used for later on, I barely broke even off the raw gold. I did still have enough gold to buy the bounty talisman, though which buffs my strength during daily hunting tasks. I then visited Rashid in Carlin, who finally accepted me as a recognized trader. I did end up selling some of my loot to him, which brought my cash reserve close to 30,000 gold. I was lucky enough to get both the Minotaur Mage task and the Minotaur Guard task after each other, which I did in the Dark Pyramid north of Dyrachia. Afterwards, I did the Khandra task in Benuta. I returned to Venore and noticed Feverish Citizen. I killed them and obtained 5 out of the 6 required pieces of cloth for the Afflicted outfit. As I had a healthy amount of gold, I decided to work on my dragon shield for the obsidian knife. I hunted a lot in the Venore Dragon Lair, which is a nice spawn. When loot bagging everything, I almost broke even. Surprisingly, the spawn was taken quite a bit every now and then, so I searched for an alternative and found a great dragon lair hidden deep under the Coryms of Carlin. I killed hundreds of dragons by now, but the dragon shield has yet to drop. I am hopeful that I will soon obtain the obsidian knife to finally gather all the Minotaur leather needed for my very first add-on. Thank you for watching, and I will see you soon with my next update.